Today we're going to talk about the #1 cyberpunk dystopia future game of 2020. What do you mean we couldn't get an advanced copy of Cyberpunk 2077? Literally every other outlet did. All we had to do was fill out the paperwork. That was your job. No, look, the reviews are going live right now. We have to post something. We have to put something out there. We can't re-record that line. So today we're going to talk about the #2 cyberpunk dystopia future game of 2020, Ghostrunner. Listen, this is the easiest decision you'll make all year. It's a robot assassin wielding a katana game. You dart around the city at lightning speeds using slides, grapples, and wall runs. Sprinting from encounter to encounter is a blast, but it's nothing compared to actually engaging with groups of enemies. Even basic enemies are relatively tough and require you to pay attention to where they are and what they're doing. You start with a stop time ability, which allows you to change your trajectory in midair and dodge incoming bullets. New enemies who require unique approaches are thrown in regularly throughout the entire campaign, such as enemies with shields or mechanical big boys. You'll gain new abilities, and your raw skill will naturally increase as you progress. Eventually, you'll really get into the flow of the experience, and it feels fantastic. And that's why it's so weird when the game takes all of that away. At multiple points, you'll enter the cyber void, which is nowhere near as cool as it sounds. These are exposition dumps, and they have this great feature of removing all of your cool abilities.
I was dependent on that. Why did you do that?
It's fine, I guess. None of these sections are all that long or difficult, and maybe it's there for overall pacing to give you a quick break, but they did nothing for me because the story is just so bland and predictable. I mean, there's two voices in your head, one begging you to help people, and the other telling you to let all the innocents die for the greater good. Is it really a spoiler to say which one betrays you?
I'm shocked at this unforeseen turn of events.
I do want to touch on two things that this game does that is so crucially important for getting right in a game where you die frequently while repeating encounters. Not only is respawning almost instantaneous, but when you do respawn, all the enemies are in the exact position they were in the last time you attempted the fight. This puts all of the growth in the player's hands to experiment with new strategies or come at it from a different angle. Every time a game does this so well, it has to be commended for it.
I'm proud of you, you know that. I hope you do.
Collectibles are also handled masterfully. Each collectible unlocks a specific story item, sword cosmetic, or audio log, so you'd be able to figure out which ones you're missing pretty easily. But you don't need to look any of that up, as each chapter will tell you how many collectibles you still need, and there's an upgrade that you can use that will let you know that there's a collectible nearby. I didn't have to use a guide at all to find any of the collectibles because of how well this is implemented. And then aside from the story trophies, the rest are all miscellaneous. There's a good spot for any of the trophies that require you to kill 3 or more enemies. It's right at the start of the chapter, Rain in Hell. At the second encounter, all you have to do is back up enough so you can hit all 4 enemies with whatever power you're using, and then restart and change your power for the other trophies. The Strike trophy requires you to kill 3 enemies at once with a falling drone. There's a room late in the chapter, Things You Wouldn't Believe, with 4 drones and enough enemies in the area. I think that's the only spot in the game where it can actually be unlocked. Improvise, Adapt, Overrun requires killing a sniper without getting near him. Snipers only appear in the Echoes chapter. You can't get this trophy on a first playthrough. You'll have to come back with Chapter Select after unlocking a longer ranged killing ability. More Than Human requires you to kill 23 enemies in a row without dying, while R is for running is for completing a level without dying. If you don't unlock these by accident, you can continuously play the first level to unlock both of them. While there isn't enough enemies to get 23 in a row, just beating the first level twice without dying will unlock this trophy. All the rest of the trophies are pretty easy to get in Chapter Select once you're specifically going for them, but don't be surprised if you miss a bunch on your first playthrough. Ghostrunner is a short, easy, and fun platinum that will keep you plenty entertained the entire way through. I mean, you get to play as an android parkouring around a cyberpunk city with a sword. What's not to love? Okay, so quick spoilers. The game has a fantastic level that takes place on a train, which is my favorite thing in video games. And then you get off of the train to fight a boss, and then you get back on the train right after the boss is defeated. Why didn't they put the boss fight on top of the train? That would have been so cool. All I'm saying is that this could have been my game of the year, and they threw it out the window.